Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Leroy Selby.
And I'm Shahul-Hameed. Welcome to the 2026 Birmingham Youth Conference. We're so excited to have you here today.
This conference is proudly brought to life by the Shahul-Hameed Foundation for Mental Health. The foundation's core mission is to promote emotional well-being and provide vital resources and eliminate stigma surrounding mental health in our communities. To keep this support alive and consistent, they host impactful monthly events as 4 dementia cafes, coffee with mental health counsellors, feeding 100 homeless people, and wellness workshops to provide safe spaces for education, reflection, and healing.
Organising today's event is a major part of that mission. This is actually one of 5 youth conferences being rolled out nationally. The Foundation kicked off this incredible journey with the first 2 landmark conferences being held at the House of Commons and the House of Lords. From there, they launched their regional tour in Manchester and Leeds, and we're incredibly proud that today in Birmingham marks the 3rd and very last of their regional youth conferences.
Whether you're a young person, a community leader, a teacher, a mentor, a business, or someone who's just passionate about making a difference, thank you for showing up. This conference was built for one clear reason: to amplify the voices of young people, especially those who have felt locked up out of opportunities or left unheard.
It's about breaking cycles, violence, exclusion, and feeling there is no way forward, and showing that there is path to something better. Throughout the afternoon, you'll hear stories, take part in discussions, and hopefully connect with people who will see your potential and want to walk that journey with you.
Over the next few hours, we're diving into some massive topics: entrepreneurship, mental health, and community leadership. But this isn't a lecture. We want you to be a part of the conversation, not just sit in the audience.
You'll get to jump into roundtables, interactive workshops, and connect directly with organisations ready to back up your ambition. We want you leaving today with fresh ideas, new tools, and a confidence to own your future.
To get things officially started, we are incredibly honoured to welcome Tony Letts, OBE, who is the chair of the charity Shahul-Hameed Foundation for Mental Health. She is a dedicated champion of the community empowerment and social justice. She has spent decades advocating for vulnerable groups and creating systemic opportunities for the next generation.
Good, well, I won't sing, but I'm very, very proud to be here today to welcome you to this youth conference. And we've already had a good start. You've been introduced to today by our amazing young men and women that are here. But let me tell you why I believe it's important we have these events. Simply because these young people are all tomorrow's leaders, business leaders, rich men, rich ladies, no, but doing well for the country. Because there is a responsibility, as I used to say to my children, you know, you have to do your bit. You have to do your bit. But sadly today, a lot of adults in the world don't actually always hear what young people are saying. Well, if they're going to be running the country, running businesses, internationally, start now listening to them. So I do beg adults, older people, to listen to young people. I went into a local event where I was talking the other morning with a group of coffee drinkers, I think, and it was a coffee morning in a local library, but it was for older people to come together. And I went there, and no, they're no good, you know. They don't do much at school. And I said, have you ever actually talked to school teachers? Have you talked to people, you know, the young people in the school? So I have got a couple of young people going to talk to them in September to tell them what they're doing at school. It will blow their minds. It really will. I do not have any fear for the future because I think our young people know what the issues are, know what the problems. They understand AI. I have a grandson who works with it, and he's doing quite well. But there will be jobs. People are going around saying, oh, there will be jobs, of course there will. And you're going to need it. And I know that was one of the reasons why Shahul-Hameed started her charity. She wanted people to feel valued, to have a future. We also do a homeless lunch for people, and we have an advice centre, and we have counsellors. And we know by looking at them, if they had been helped differently earlier in their life, they probably would have had a reasonable life. And now we're working with them, trying to pick up all the pieces, find somewhere for them to live, etc. So it is very, very difficult. But I believe in you. You are exciting, and the future is equally as exciting. I won't go on anymore except to say, I thank you now for what you are going to do in the future. You're going to do a great deal. And I hope in 50 years' time, maybe not here, but somebody, maybe in House of Commons, the House of Lords, somebody will be saying, we've done it. So thank you very much. Enjoy the day. Ask questions if you're not sure. If anybody will here, and enjoy it. Go back and to colleges, wherever, and kickstart the September. Have a bit of a break, but do kickstart the September. Go for it. I mean, the sort of parent that Manju and her husband Rafi, they have brought up their boys to actually do incredibly well. One's training to be a doctor and the other a finance man. So, is that correct, sir? Yes? And I'm very proud of them. I'm the other granny, and I'm very proud of them. And I want people to be able to say the same about people. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Tony. That was wonderful. We also welcome Councillor Dr. Manju Shahul-Hameed, the visionary founder who runs the foundation behind today's event. She's a dedicated, long-serving councillor and a historic former mayor of Croydon, who has spent years successfully leading community-driven initiatives and working tirelessly to bridge the gap between policy and grassroots mental health support.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Can you all hear me? So it's a great honor and privilege to welcome you all to our youth conference in Birmingham. And our charity started 9 years ago, so we're going to be celebrating our 10th anniversary next year. Woo. So this was just an idea to tackle stigma in our communities in Croydon. That's the reason we started our charity. So after my mayoral year, I was visiting a lot of community in Croydon, and people often talk to me about their mental health issues in their families. They tell me their husband is going through mental health issues, their son is going through mental health issues, their daughter is going through mental health issues, but they don't want me to do anything about it, but they want me to listen. And then that's the reason we had a conversation, myself and my Madam Mayor, Tony Legs. We had a conversation about how we can address this issue of stigma in mental health, and we decided to set up this charity. And this National Commission for Mental Health, this was set up a couple of years ago. It was an idea raised by one of my friends called Rohema. She couldn't be here unfortunately because of health reasons. And because we wanted to have that national conversation about mental health and how to address that issue. So we started the National Commission and we decided to go around the country. So initially we started with the 2 youth conferences at House of Commons and House of Lords, and then we went to Manchester, in Moorside, and then we were in Leeds last weekend. Here we are in Manchester. This is the final and the 5th youth conference that we are doing as part of the National Commission for Mental Health. And I'm really excited to welcome you, all of you, to this conference, and we're going to have a lot of conversation, and you can see a lot of papers in your tables as well. So we will have a lot of conversation about how we can address the stigma of mental health and also address the issue of youth violence and crime that is affecting our young people and our families in our communities across the country. So I'm going to embarrass some of you this morning. So I always do this in our event. So I just wanted to invite some of those people who made this. Tamina, don't go away. I really need you. So I just wanted to introduce some of you and ask you to come up onto the stage if that's okay. So there are a number of people in this room who made this event possible. So we have Major from Five Up. He's here, isn't he? He's not here? Is here? Alright, so we have New Hope Global. Tamina, do you mind coming out, please? And we have West Midlands Violence Reduction Partnership and West Midlands Police and Crime Commissioners. So Matt and also Yas. Can I please ask both of you to come up, please? And Paula Hamilton MP, she's not here, she'll be coming to the stage. Dr. Naura Thrasvi, she's going to be speaking later, but she's not here. Joanne Buckley from Barclays, please. Dr. Magna Naidu. Tony Lex. Walter. Sharon. And Shashank, and the 2 hosts, both of you come up, please. Councillor Alex, Tina. You can't come up? Okay. Do you want to send your representative then? So can you give them a big round of applause. And they made this event possible. So, a number of conversations we had to make sure that the young people are here and also the speakers. So, a lot of hard work and work to be done behind the scenes, but we made it happen. So, thank you so much to all of you for making this happen. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and there are a number of, I mentioned the speakers here as well. So if you want to have a conversation with any of them during the break or lunch break, please do have that conversation. And if there is anything I can do to help in the capacity of the charities, charity leaders, so do let us know. We're happy to help in any way. And like my madam I said, we'd love to see you as councillors, MPs, leaders of our local communities, and I'm sure we have a lot of potential in this room, and you're all leaders of our communities. And enjoy the rest of the afternoon, and good luck to everything that you're doing. Thank you.
Huge thank you once again to Tony Letterby, Councillor Dr. Manju Shahul-Hameed, for those incredibly inspiring words. Please, let's give them another round of applause.
Absolutely. What a fantastic way to set the tone for the rest of our event. But the momentum doesn't stop here. Moving on to our next segment, we're incredibly honoured to welcome our next guest onto the stage. Now we're diving into our keynote speech. This next session is all about something many of us are thinking of right now. How do we create opportunities for ourselves even when the odds feel stacked against us?
Joining us next is Joanne Buckley, a dedicated Barclays local specialist who works tirelessly right at the heart of our regional communities. Joanne doesn't just work from behind a desk, she takes the Barclays initiative directly to the grassroots. Whether she's visiting local schools, working with sports academies to teach young athletes money management, or hitting the road to run free workshops on financial well-being and life skills, she's entirely focused on helping the next generation navigate today's economic challenges.
As a passionate advocate and mentor, Joanne brings years of expertise in breaking down complex topics such as digital upskilling, budgeting, fraud awareness, and she gives young people the practical real-world tools they need to build confidence for financial futures. We're incredibly lucky to have her energy, her drive, her insight for us today to kick off this segment. Please show some love. Make some noise and welcome Miss Joanne Buckley.
I'm not going to introduce myself by name, you know my name, Joe. I am short, yes, I'm tiny, but I have today, using my passion, thank you, yeah, all the short I'm very privileged to be here today. So, as a Barclays Local Specialist, the role that I have is something that I absolutely love. I mean, if you've got a job that you love doing, it's the best thing and it's the best feeling in the world. So what I wanted to share with you, rather than deliver a PowerPoint presentation about, statistics and all the different elements that come with my role, I wanted to try and sort of bring it to life with photographs. However, just having a few technical difficulties, so just bear with me. I'll kind of introduce myself a little bit more. So, with the role of a local specialist, there is only myself that looks after the Midlands. So I am out and about covering the whole of the West Midlands. So my little legs are very busy day by day, and I can be in different places, different times, different locations. So I have the privilege of going into schools, education facilities, and also working with young people outside the needs. So those that don't go to school, they're not in any particular education facility. It could be a charity, organisations that work with young people in groups and different organisations. But what I run is workshops. So when I was your age, or even younger, nobody came into my school. Nobody came to my college. And when I went into employment, nobody taught me things that I should really know about having a job. The basic things such as pay slips. I didn't have a parent or a guardian that gave me that information about money skills. What's a bank account? What different types of bank accounts are there? What's a credit card? How do you use a credit card? So I wasn't fortunate enough to have that kind of guidance given to me, so I had to learn these things as I got older. And then, sort of it's one of those things that you either learn the hard way, or actually, if you're fortunate to have that guidance, and I know speaking to some of you who do have that, but if you're not fortunate to have any guidance from a parent or a guardian, then there's other ways that we need to help you, we need to upskill you. So, just reflecting on this picture, so this is me. Yes, I am wearing a Birmingham City football top. So today, no judgment, I love my job and that's where I will go, wherever I want to go, so please don't judge me because I'm a blue nose. However, this is me and the van. So I have a van that I get to take out to organisations, to community groups, to fun days, festivals, different things, but it's about the reach that I have and it's about the people that we want to speak to. So rather than sort of go into any further detail around statistics and things like that, so as I mentioned, so pictures say 1,000 words. So with myself, so as I say, I'm very fortunate I get to come out and work with primary school children, getting them to think about money skills, what is a budget. I know some of you are chatting to about finances, budgeting, things like that. Unless you're given that guidance and information, it's not going to help you sort of as you progress into adulthood and get those, sort of achieve the goals and aspirations. You might want to own your own home one day, and it's how we can get you those steps to think about those great aspirations. So with the Life Skills platform that we use, there's lots of great information on there, but we deliver different sessions to help you. So it could be that one day we're talking about money skills, what's a credit score, what's a credit card. So those sort of things that as an adult we might take for granted, but then at the same time I work with organisations and employees of businesses who have great jobs and are high earners but are useless at managing them, and they don't check them what's in their account other than to look at the balance. And because we are a society that is very driven with contactless, there's very few people managing money or looking after money with cash. So back in the day we would have cash to manage our money, to think, right, I've got £20 to last me. When I was 18 and I was going out, I know £20 would get me out, I'd have a few drinks and I might be able to get the bus home. That's not the case now, but thinking about obviously the different things that are available to you and things that you aren't aware of. So with my role, it's kind of around the lasting impact. It's giving you, as young people, the tools, the knowledge, and the confidence to have these kind of, you want sort of aspirations. You might want to own your own property. You might want to start your own, company. You might want to be going into entrepreneurship. But it's around how we can give you that information, build your confidence, and help young people such as yourself improve those scores. And what we're finding is trying to bridge that gap to coordinate these different elements to young people. And what I found sort of around working with young people is they've got the passion, they just haven't been given the right guidance, or they might be lucky enough to be in an education facility where they've got amazing tutors or guidance from theirs that can help them progress. Or it could be actually that you're not in any type of education, you've got a home life that isn't really the best, And the other thing why we talk about the money skills is because what we find with working with families as well, if you haven't got a parent or a guardian that's good at managing their own money, they're not going to be able to pass those skills on. So the younger you can learn basic things such as how to budget and help you, will not only help yourselves, you can further educate your parent, your guardian. And what we find is obviously finances can be a very stressful situation for some, and that has a massive impact on your mental health. So if you're struggling to pay your bills, or you want to buy some new clothes and you can't afford it, it's how you can adapt and make small changes to get you those things that you really want. So in terms of obviously what we find at the moment is that, managing your money is probably not on the top of your list. It might be, you might be very savvy with your money, you might not be. But what we want to do is make sure that you, as young people, with everything that's going on in the world at the moment, have the tools. Push yourself, get the confidence. Because, as I say, time flies. I mean, it only seems that I'm a lot older than you, but 1 minute I was 18 and I was having the time of my life, and the next I'm in my 50s, and change of circumstances and all sorts have gone on. However, I've learned as I've gone along the mistakes that I've made. I'm not perfect, but I've had to sort of educate my children as well to say that, you know, you've got to work hard to get yourself out there, build your confidence. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. So then finally, kind of just giving you a bit sort of insight to my day. So I attend careers fairs. It could be that I'm working with young adults who aren't in education, they're over the age of 18, can't find a job, haven't got the confidence to go out, and it's about, you know, boosting those sort of tactics and also the things that are available to them. Or it could be actually I'm working with wives and girlfriends or partners who are in prison and they're in a situation where actually they have no idea what to do with their finances because they've always relied on a partner or their husband to deal with the financing. So I love my job, but my passion is with young people. So I really appreciate the opportunity today, so thank you so much for the advice. And actually, if I had this opportunity when I was your age, I would have bitten your hand off, because it would have helped me learn lessons and not make certain mistakes that I did make as I got into adulthood. So if anybody has any questions around the life skills, my role, the Entrepreneur Academy that we have, there's a free academy, Entrepreneurship Academy that we run, and I'm actually looking to put on an event later in September for young people that have got that idea and need that extra boost to take it forward later in the year. So please just come and have a chat with me, I do really appreciate it. So thank you everyone.
Thank you so much to our opening speakers for setting such an incredible tone for the day. Now it's time to move from listening to doing. Can we have another round of applause, please?
This next segment is what this conference is all about. Our roundtable discussions. This is your space to share your personal experiences, voice your ideas, and talk about how we can collectively break down the barriers holding young people back.
We've broken the discussions down into 4 massive vital topics for today. You'll find one of them at your table. First, we're looking at overcoming educational barriers because everyone deserves a fair shot at learning. Second, we're diving into promoting mental health and emotional well-being and breaking the stigma around asking for help.
Third, we are tackling the big conversations around encouraging alternatives to crime and antisocial behaviour, focusing on real opportunities instead. And finally, we're talking about cultivating supportive and positive peer networks, because who you have in your corner matters.
There are no wrong answers here. Every single perspective in this room is valuable. Lean in, speak your truth, and let's get these conversations started. There are facilitators for each table. Can you find one person from each table to back? Thank you.
So are you clear about the roundtable conversation? So in each of your table you have a topic. So it is numbered 1 to 4. So you have one discussion per table. So amongst yourselves in the table, if you could have a conversation about that topic which is on your table. So we have number 1 is overcoming educational barriers, 2 promoting mental health and emotional well-being, 3 encouraging alternatives to crime and antisocial behavior, and then we have number 4, cultivating supportive and positive peer networks. So if you could have a conversation about that topic, and we have some questions as well for each of those topics, and have a discussion on those questions, and if you could choose one person to report back at the end of the conversation. So we're going to give you like half an hour, and then at the end of the make some notes. So that's building positive social networks. So we have some questions and bullet points, and If you can go through those questions and bullet points and write the response as well as choose one person to report back, please.
It's time for the feedback session, where we bring all of your thoughts together into the main room.
We would like to invite one facilitator from each table to come speak about what you've all spoken in your current groups, please. Thank you.
We're going to pass the mic around. We'd love for one representative from a few different tables to give us a quick 1 minute snapshot of the biggest breakthrough idea you had. Who wants to kick us off?
Hi.
Hello. Hi.
So we had the question about mental health and well-being on our table. Question 2. The 3 bullet points were: what is stopping young people from talking about their mental health? How can we break down these barriers? And what more can professionals do to support the well-being of young people? So on our table we had a range of responses, some being that what's stopping young people from talking about their mental health is the stigma around mental health, because obviously mental health is viewed as something that is a negative thing, so people are afraid to talk about it because they feel like they might be judged about it. Another thing is that they might be unaware or uneducated about how to, convey what they're feeling. They might feel like they don't know how to explain their feelings or how to articulate them. There's also fears of being ignored or accused of attention seeking as well. And then we talked about how we can break down these barriers. And of course the main one is taking young people seriously, because young people, we still have a voice and our feelings should never be neglected. Another thing that we said that we can break down these barriers is through listening to lived experiences of those who have gone through mental health and also overcome it as well. Because if we listen to these lived experiences, then young people might not be afraid to speak up about how they're feeling. Because if somebody comes and speaks to them and tells them about the struggles that they've been through and how they've overcome it, they might feel like they can relate to that person and now feel more confident to share how they're feeling as well. Because if they've overcome it, it gives them hope for the future that they will also be able to overcome it as well. And the final point was, what more can professionals do to support the well-being of young people? And we talked about how we could include workshops as well. And within these workshops, we said that it wouldn't just be a one-time thing, it would be a consecutive recurring thing, because that way the professionals can build a rapport with the young people, so the young people feel more confident and more comfortable to talk to these professionals, and they're able to, convey how they're feeling as well. Another thing was that we would do more education in schools and also in public transport, public bathrooms. While that is a thing right now, we also spoke more about catering it to certain age groups as well. Because if you cater to the age groups, then it makes them feel like you're not just clumping everybody into one group, but you're talking about the different challenges that people at different stages in life may feel. And it especially caters to people who may be out of education. For example, they may be taking a gap year and they might not have a school or university to go to where they can get these mental health services, but instead they see that they have alternatives as seen through posters or other things around the community. So yes, that's what we're talking about.
Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? As the first table, so it was question 2, mental health, similar to the first one. So as they already spoke about the first question, I'll go straight into it. So for the first question, what is stopping young people from talking about it is a stigma. Uneducated elder generations deter people from going and talking about their issues and the societal expectations of the world now. People think talking about mental health is cringy and not worth their time. The fact that it's underwhelming and people don't learn from it is also deterring them. Another one is that mental health professionals are not educated enough to talk about the issues of today. That's why for topic 2, how we break down these barriers, we said we need higher quality training and people who know what they're talking about. We should have professional conferences such as this to discuss the issues, and we should have parents come into schools to learn about what to do when their children have issues such as those mental health issues and what they can do to solve it. And for the third point, what can professionals do to support them, is we should make mental health support more accessible. In today, it is currently inaccessible and people don't know what to do. Another one is that therapy is expensive. An average therapy costs around 2,000 for 10 weeks. That is a waste and it's a complete joke. We reduce it to around 10 quid for a session. That, first of all, makes it more accessible and makes people want to go to it. And the final one is that school provisions should have more support and know what they're doing. If you're currently going to a school, they have no idea what to do and they're currently just winging it and basically how they feel. So if we solve that, overall, it won't take straight away. If we take it, it'll take a couple of years. But if we do that, slowly mental health will get better and people will start enjoying it. Thank you very much.
So, building positive social networks. So the question was, what are your current social networks? So, my current social networks are community groups, my family, friends, different social media platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook. Also, I'd say youth programs and work placements, and groups and community centres. But for the next one, do you see them as having a positive impact on people? Yes, it helps. Yes, it helps to build confidence and empower people, such as having friendly chat and advice, people that suffer from social isolation. So having confidence and gaining support as it helps.
The final question was, what's stopping us young people from accessing this positive social network? And he said that it's because of lack of information and awareness, and because also online bullying, because there are a lot of people who fear being judged by others, and through online trolling and homeworks, and also financial barriers. Some people are afraid of spending money, or they're worried that they have to, these things cost a lot, so they just stop themselves from engaging in these activities also. And we said lack of opportunities as well, and social anxiety, lack of barrier, and also people with special education need, like they feel limited as well. And we suggested that using social media platforms to promote these, build awareness for other people as well, and also using school as a way to access, making it more accessible for young people and be more informed and more aware about these. That's it.
Good afternoon, my name is Manga, and our conversation was about pathways away from crime and antisocial behavior. Our bullet points were, are young people aware of what's on offer in and around Birmingham, and what would stop young people from taking part in these activities? Many young people may not be aware of the opportunities available to stop them from turning to crime. However, recently, the number of youth clubs have increased, preventing young people to stay off the roads. Now, examples of these youth clubs are like 5 Up, which I'm part of, and 9 Up, which are safe places to keep people off the streets. Now, 5 Up is like a family, and this is being part of a family, being part of a group, is one of the reasons that people may join gangs and be part of crime. Youth clubs encourage young people to connect with others and perhaps learn new skills. Schools should organise more talks and raise awareness about crime and how this can negatively impact our lives. Thank you for listening.
Hello everybody. So through our table, we were given a question of overcoming educational challenges. And the question was, who else can young people talk to when they're having difficulty in education system? So the first bullet point, we decided to talk about how they can talk to safeguarding teachers, important figures in their life, as their adults, as they can extend to long-term difficulty, and you want somebody to help assess the situation and find out answers to it, multiple answers. You also want to talk to student support and safeguarding, mental health team, friends at school, and it depends on severity. You can talk to your friends if it's like something that you want to relate to with them. But if you want to talk to like teachers, try and get it sorted and talk to teachers. Other young people and social workers are another type of people you can talk to if you want them to help you with the educational challenges that you come across in your settings. We also, for the second bullet point, which was, are there particular environments and spaces that make having these conversations easier? We decided that environments are dependent on the type of person you are. So, for example, if you're an extrovert person, or if you're the type of person who overcome your challenges by talking to other people, we can have environments where you could be around your familiar loved ones and everything, and you can talk to them and feel better about your situation. So the people prefer being alone, having that alone time. So we decided that to help people to combat these environments that could make having conversations easier, we could have different environments for people at, like, for example, if you're talking to somebody at camp, for example, having an appointment, we can have different environments so they can talk to their friends if they're up for it, or they could be alone and have their own time, like, just feel comfortable and feel familiar. We decided that the feeling that we wanted to go for in all the environments was a feeling of familiarity, because people feel most safe and most comfortable having these conversations when they feel like they are in a familiar environment and they feel like they can actually come out with these challenges. So yeah, that was what our answers came with.
Those were some wonderful ideas. Can we have a round of applause for everyone? We'd like to welcome Councillor Alex Yip from Birmingham City Council, Scrutiny Chair, for this ceremony and and the local magistrate and school governor to come speak for us. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I was asked by Andrew just to say a few words. To introduce myself, my name's Alex. I'm a Birmingham City Councillor, and as the voice just said, I've also been a magistrate for about 15 years and a school governor for about 20. Firstly, people came up on stage to present on behalf of the tables, which is to say that's very, very well done. Public speaking is something that most adults hate, so if we need to actually have the confidence to come up and present to other people, I think that is a real sign of your confidence. I do want to just acknowledge just how hard that is for lots of people. Also within your tables as well, so I was just going around just trying to listen to what you guys were saying. I just want to perhaps touch on mental health as the main issue around which I think was a common theme between a lot of the tables. You guys are living in a world now which has completely changed from the past 30 years. The challenges that you are facing are considerable, and no other generation before had that sort of difficulty. Issues going from social media, loneliness, the peer pressure, the image issues. I mean, it is truly insurmountable what you guys are having to deal with, and no other group that has preceded you has had this understanding, especially around the internet. So I just want to take a moment just to acknowledge how important your views are and how necessary they need to be heard with higher authorities, so councillors, people who are decision makers. Because I kind of have, but my peers, so people who are like 60, that have no idea what you guys are going through, I kind of just about do. But the challenges that you are now facing in the next 10 years, they will evolve and they will perhaps get worse. So this makes your voice even more important. For myself, so in 2005, there was a moment when I found myself dangling my feet on the top of school, and I was that close to jumping. And there's a moment now where I always reflect on that, to think actually, the difficulties that I was going through, the loneliness and the hardship that I was finding, just how hard it was, who would I go and talk to? Actually, I couldn't find anyone to go to. It's just by luck that someone just found me the corner and found me doing this. But think for yourselves, the bravest thing to do if you are in that sort of position is just to find someone to talk to, and more often than not, the first step is the hardest. And now, 20 odd years later, there's been some times within council when I've talked to my mental health, high-risk or suicide prevention, where I can say that I was very much in the position where they were, or you guys perhaps are, and I've been okay. And if someone like myself has been in a shoes similar to where you are, 20 years later I've become a councillor and become a magistrate, a position where I can help other people, there's absolutely every opportunity for you guys to go on and do that. So I do want to really leave you with that message and encourage you to share. Absolutely share your thoughts with authorities, right to councillors. Share the thoughts and issues that you are finding here now in this safe space. Because these words will be compiled by Andrew into a report which will help decision makers to make changes in policy. It really, really will. And if you are having issues, please do share as well, because it's so important that other people understand and the first step is absolutely always the hardest. So I do want to encourage you to do that, and I also just want to take a moment to thank all the supporters, the sponsors, and businesses who are taking the time out to help make this happen, because it doesn't come together easily. It takes a huge amount of work. 5 congresses across the UK to pull all these groups together to hear your views. It's so important. And I hope you will continue to share this message as well, that your voice is important, what you have to say needs to be heard. Okay? Thank you for your time.
The next speaker I'd like to invite is Trina Tiernan, who's a work-related manager at Joseph Chamberlain College, board member of the Asian Chambers, and a board member for British Heart Foundation Asian Business Board. Please welcome Trina Tiernan.
Thank you. I hate public speaking, and I'm not very good at it. So I've got to stand up before you lot do. But what I do want to say is that I work at Joseph Chamberlain at Highgate, and I love my students. I love the college, and I love working with Birmingham young people. You teach me, and I'm led by you. So at the college, every year I ask them, what do you want? How do I work with you? Because when I say to them, let's go on Facebook, they laugh and go, no one's on that anymore, miss. This is what you've got to do. So it makes my job a lot easier, and it's more effective because you're standing up and telling me what you want. Now, I didn't get no GCSEs, I didn't go to uni, I was pretty naughty. I was in Coventry, and I was told that I was stupid, I was thick, and I was not going to have an education, but I've got a bit of a personality, and that's what got me through my experiences. And now I'm at sixth form college, and if my teachers could see me now, I think they'd be very shocked. So what I'm saying is that where I started from and where I've come from now is very different, and it is about enjoying it is about finding out who you are. At the moment, there's lots of changes, and it's always going to happen, but just find enjoyment where you can, and believe in yourself. These little bits, people will tell you no, people will tell you you're great, and you may not agree with either of them, but it's you're the only person that you're going to be with for the rest of your life, and people will come and go. I hope that makes sense, because I didn't know I was talking. But good luck to you all, and there is plenty of support out there, so keep telling us what you want, and we will react because we are listening. So congratulations everyone.
I would like to invite Dr. Magna Adu, lecturer at Goldsmith University of London, and she's also worked 30 years in public health for the NHS and has worked extensively with young people in the community. She's also recently worked with the Commonwealth Secretariat as the head of health for all 54 nations of the Commonwealth. Thank you.
It's a pleasure, real pleasure, to be part of the foundation that's actually coordinating working with young people. And I was so pleased to know that the foundation is taking the world beyond Croydon, beyond London, and in Manchester, in Leeds, and today we're in Birmingham. And Goldsmith University are part, and they're a good support. Not just part working with England, but very good support of the foundation and its direction. For someone who's worked with young people for many years, you know that the resources, youth service across the country are dwindling. So when I see initiatives like these, despite Goldsmiths being part of the support of the foundation, it makes me want to give my time to it as well. Because I've seen many young people go through youth service. Yes, I've gone through youth service and acting. I've seen young people go through youth service as journalists. I've seen young people go through youth service and become chefs. Yeah, through initiatives such as the foundation. So really, I want to give applause really to Manju Shahul-Hameed Foundation for what they do, and now they've moved from London across the nation. So I want if I could take a second to rise and talk about young people, but what I want to do is pick up on a couple of things that those who stood here said. And that's what should every single one do well. And just to say that we are living in difficult times, but our time was very difficult as well. Every generation has their own difficulty. Yeah? And we are, and you are, living in difficult times. COVID, we've had others that's gone as well. We've had all sorts of abuses hitting the news. Yeah? But we need foundations such as these, initiatives such as these, to try and break the barrier. Yes? And young people find their voice. And young people access to opportunities. Opportunities are a big thing as well. You know, many years ago we used to take young people to our MPs, our councillors. Yes? Go and knock on their doors to say we're here. Yes? Our voices need to be heard. There's not enough resources in our communities, and that's what made such a foundation as this organisation. What can I say? We couldn't wish for anything better than to see this foundation. So, without going on too much, I just want to say something about the course Ghosts University. One of the ones I like to teach on, which is community studies, which is social sciences, community development, and youth work. And that course is a 3-year degree. We're working with the foundation, that's partly while I'm here as well. It's a 3-year degree course. You have your lectures, you have what we call field work, and obviously you have essays and dissertation, which is part of what we see as your exams, as opposed to sitting in the exam room and answering questions. You get assessed, yeah, by your essays and dissertation that you do produce. If anybody's interested in finding a career in that route, yes, as someone who's part of the foundation, please do speak to me. I can give you more information, yes, and also, the coordinator, the head, the manager, the director of the foundation can also give you that information as well. So if you're keen on following a degree course, like community and youth work, social sciences, community development and youth work, do talk to me before I go. And I'll give you more information about it. Spread the word of today. Yes? Take from today the opportunities and certainly the table that I was working on, or working with the young people on my table. Some of the issues that came up is something that I know the foundation will be listening to. I know the foundation will pass on to politicians as well. I know the foundation will also need funders. Yet we also need funders to support what is going on, what is happening in the communities, to do the work well and to be here today. Yes? So please carry that lesson with you out as well. And thank you so much, and we'll mingle during lunchtime.
And now it's time for a quick break. We'll be taking a group photo, so please stick around and follow the directions to the team to the steps outside. I would also like to announce that lunch will be for the next 20 minutes. Grab some drinks, stretch your legs, and we'll be back shortly. Thank you. Violence Reduction Partnership. He is a pioneering advocate of community safety who operates right at the heart of the region's strategy, managing the rollout of crucial frontline interventions. Instead of just reacting to issues, Matthew's team focused heavily on early intervention, tackling the root causes of vulnerability and building collaborative frameworks to ensure young people can thrive safely. He is here to talk about how we can collectively build a stronger future for our neighbourhoods and ensure every young person has a path forward in return. Please put your hands together and give a massive Birmingham welcome to Matthew Stone.
Hi everyone, so my name is Matt. There's a few technical difficulties, but I'll probably get the presentation to be shared with everyone at the end. So my name is Matt. I work for the Violence Reduction Partnership in the West Midlands. So we are part of the Police and Crime Commissioner's Office in the West Midlands. So the Police and Crime Commissioner, his job is to work with communities, work with partners to create a police and crime plan. And part of that plan is to keep the police to account and to make sure that us as a society feel safe in the West Midlands. Our work, so what we do, so we work in the criminal justice sector, we work in the sports sector, so we believe that everyone has a role to play to reduce violence. Okay, so whether you're a young person, whether you're a community leader, whether you're a person of faith, whether you're a teacher, a parent, a carer, you have a role to play. And our job is to tell you what that role is, or help facilitate what that role is to the best of your ability. I just want, can you put your hands up if you've been affected by violence and crime? Whether that means that you have someone who has been affected physically, mentally, someone that you know. Okay, quite a few people. Okay? So, in this presentation, I'm going to tell you what you can do to help reduce those things. We also support in training, so we deliver trauma-informed care. We also work with the police around the fact that you can't arrest your way out of the problem, that you need to work with partners. We work in education, so we deliver hundreds of programs and projects in schools to give young people the tools to stay away from violence. We also educate families, parents and carers around how to keep their children safe online. We speak to young people all the time around bullying and how sometimes the person who's a bully can sometimes use violence as a way to protect themselves. We're a big advocate of young people and their voices being heard, and so you'll hear from some of the young leaders today. So we work in what's called a public health approach, which is all about identifying what the problem is, identifying what the risks are, what the causes are, and then thinking about the protective factors. So the risks are things that will lead people into violence. So it could be your environment, it could be your mental state, it could be your family environment, it could be poverty, it could be deprivation, it could be vulnerabilities. And our job is to increase the protective factors. So those things are like good education, strong units, good information, and good and active ability to work with positive peers. We then develop and test preventions, and then we scale up those that work. So, I won't go through that because it's a bit boring. We want to work on the attitudes of young people and people in society. So if we can work on attitudes, then we can influence beliefs. If we can influence beliefs, then we can encourage better behaviour. And if we encourage better behaviour, then the actions of people are going to be more positive as well. So, I can't do that because you can't see the screen. So what might be some risk factors which can make violence more likely to occur? What are some of the things in society that can make violence occur more? And I want some hands. Guys at the back, change makers, do you hear what I said? Yeah? So what are some of the risk factors? What would make people fall into violent behaviour? The environment. Antisocial behaviour. Couple more. Drugs and alcohol. Not doing well in school. Abuse. Lack of use spaces.
Wanting to fit in.
Trying to fit in. Money. Yeah, okay, amazing. So what we try to do is, through our partnership work, we try to reduce the likelihood of those things happening. And it takes a lot. It takes a lot because, as you said, money is a factor. So for those who don't know, there's a partnership in Birmingham called the Violence Reduction Board, and that board is a group of partners across education, public health, violence reduction, police, who talk about where money should go to reduce violence in Birmingham and West Midlands. And so you do need money to make change, but you can still make change without money. But I do believe if you want to make long-term change, then we need more than maybe £3,000 a year. I think we need something that's a bit more long-term. So our job is to try to lever some opportunities to get more funding into the city to then give back to the work of violence reduction. But what are some of the protective factors? So what are some of the things that can protect you from being involved in violence? So raise hands again. So we spoke about the risks. What are some of the protective factors, the things that keep you safe? Good community. Good friendship circle. Family. Speak to a mentor. That's a great one. Education. Positive social media content. Youth clubs. Okay, you got that feeling in? I don't need to be up here. So, there was going to be a screen here with multiple factors. So, risk factors for the individual, risk factors for the relationships, community, and society, but we won't see that now. So, we'll move on. So, what can you do? So, what you can do as young people and as older people as well is challenge inappropriate language or harmful attitudes, trying to engage rather than just dismiss. Consider what further risks and protective factors you may be able to contribute to, or whether there are opportunities to shift upstream within your role. Bring the discussion into your peer group. What ideas do your friends have? Find ways to help young people discuss issues around equality, attitudes, values, relationships, societal pressures and norms in a safe space, and access training. So, I'm now going to invite one of our young leaders to come up to speak about the My Tomorrow and Change Makers. So please give a round of applause. Keep the applause going, it's still good. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'll be not too tired. That lunch was quite a lot for me, but we've still got a bit more to go. So my name's Eric. I've been actually with the My Tomorrow campaign for, I think it's been 4 to 5 years now. And what we do essentially is, as changemakers, the whole initiative started up from the My Tomorrow campaign. So the whole point of the My Tomorrow campaign was all about the voice of young people. What is it that we feel as young people is underrepresented in our areas? We feel that we need more, for example, job opportunities, and in essence, a place to hear our voices. That then led on to what's known as the Changemakers Initiative. And there are many amazing changemakers and young leaders in the back over there, so hello everyone. Huge round of applause for them. The whole idea of the Changemakers Initiative is that we ourselves are not actually changemakers. We are the young leaders. And the idea is to go and deliver sessions to young people, and not just young people, which make them change makers, and there's kind of like a domino effect that goes forth, which makes other young people change makers. We deliver sessions to, of course, young people, but it's not just within young people that we deliver to, we also deliver to adults, professionals such as yourselves, we deliver to people from the police, people who are teachers, parents, and so on and so forth. I've had an amazing time in Change Makers Initiative and also the My Tomorrow campaign. It's gone all the way from delivering 2 to 3 young children consistently all the way up to representing young people in, for example, council chambers. I think that is really all we do. If you have any questions at all, or if you're interested about what we do, visit one of the amazing young leaders at the back, and we can hopefully tell you more about what we do. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just going to round up now. It is a shame that we can't see this because we had a lot of content to go through. But just to round up, so if you're, I know we've got college here, we've got college here, and if you want the change makers to come and deliver one of their sessions to your young people or to your staff, then please speak to one of the young leaders at the back. So we produced 6 sessions so far. One on my identity and confidence, one on my safety, one on my people and relationships, my place in the community, my voice and influence, and my tomorrow. And this is young people speaking to young people. So I think that's beautiful because we as older people there, we sometimes are in those spaces, speak to other young people, and I think sometimes there's something powerful about children speaking to children, and they can see themselves doing something that they didn't believe was quite possible. So that's all from me. I think there's like questions and answers.
If there is any.
If you don't have any questions and answers, I know it was a very quick tour. I haven't really gone too in depth about some of the work that we do in communities. I think that's just like this quick tour of what we do. So any questions I'm happy to answer if anyone has any. Amazing. Oh, no question.
I'll speak to you after. I'm interested to see how I can support you.
Thank you.
In the sessions that you run, is there anything I can come and support you? So I can speak to that.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you all for listening. I'm going to come off the stage now.
Now we are moving into one of the most anticipated segments of the entire afternoon. We've heard from leaders, we've heard from corporate experts, but now it's time to hear from the real driving force of this conference.
Welcome to the youth panel. This is a space where we bring together an incredible group of young changemakers who are out there right now, breaking cycles, overcoming barriers, making a real difference in life.
They're here to get totally real about their own journeys, share their struggles, and talk about how they turn challenges into triumphs.
Get ready for some honest, inspiring, and unfiltered conversation. Please bring the energy and give a massive round of applause for our youth panelists.
My name is Manga, and I think that one of the challenges that young people face is bad influence, and I think that especially in Canada, there is obviously a lot of bad influence. There's a lot of crime, and there's people like doing bad stuff every day. And if you go outside and you're surrounded by these people, obviously you're going to become like them. And I think that one way to challenge this is youth groups, obviously, like Fiber, because if you're surrounded by good people, you will obviously become like them. And I think that obviously having youth groups is a really good way to challenge it.
Hello everyone, my name is Trudy, and today I'd like to talk about some of the barriers that young people face in education and why mental health and emotional well-being are such important parts of the conversation. Education should give every young person the opportunity to learn, grow, and achieve their potential. However, as we all know, not everyone starts from the same place. Some students face financial difficulties, family responsibilities, bullying, discrimination, or learning challenges that can make it harder to succeed. Others may struggle with a lack of support or feel that they do not have the same opportunities as their peers. Alongside these issues, many young people are also dealing with mental health challenges such as anxiety, stress, or depression, or low self-esteem. These struggles aren't always visible, but they can have a huge impact on attendance, concentration, motivation, and confidence. When emotional well-being is affected, learning becomes much more difficult. That's why I believe it's so important that schools and communities create safe, supportive environments where young people feel heard, valued, and able to ask for help without fear of judgment. By improving access to support and showing kindness and understanding, we can help remove barriers and give every young person the chance to thrive. Thank you for listening.
Hello everyone, my name is Mohammed, and I believe one of the biggest challenges across the youth is the lack of police trust. Within today's society, young people don't feel safe around the police. That's why people carry knives. That's why knife crime has skyrocketed these past few years. Because of the lack of trust between the youth and the police. So I believe that the solution is that we should go to the areas where the police trust are at its lowest. Take Smallies, Iron Mark. Police aren't more visible there, and because of that, people are more likely to commit crimes. So if we go to those areas, speak with the local residents, and make a change there, we can overall reduce the crime in those areas and in the West Midlands. Slowly but surely, we'll be able to reduce it to a minimum rate, but we'll never actually get rid of it because it's a lasting thing. But we can try to reduce it. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Victor. I would like to ask you a question first. After school, where do most kids actually go? Home. I heard home.
On the street.
What? Sorry?
On the street.
On the street. Well, the park. Are the park safe? No. Are the streets safe? No. Are people's homes safe? No. So what is the key problem? There's a lack of youth spaces. After 3 p.m, kids leave school. After 5 p.m, that's when parents actually leave work. So what's with those 2 hours? When kids go through those 2 hours, they go to the park, they go to the streets, they go to homes. And honestly, that's not safe. That's not encouraging young children to build themselves, to grow as a person. So I think that we need more youth spaces. Yes, youth clubs exist, but honestly, how many kids actually go to youth clubs, and how often? Like, they usually stop after 18 years old. But the kids that are above the age of 18, where do they go? Street, parks. That's not saying. I think we need more youth spaces. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Jay, and I want to talk about public safety. It's a huge problem considering the knife crime, etc. in our local areas. And in April this year, on crime rate, it was reported that there was 1.65 times national average in the West Midlands. And this ruins the image of the youth. It creates a rift between the elder generations and the youth, and that rift makes them feel less cared for and less seen, especially those that aren't doing these crimes. And those that are pushed into doing them because of the way they feel against the older generation, and they feel there's a disconnect in society. And this fear that's created in society, both for the older generation and the young, because of these people that carry knives, etc. These people want to stay at home more, and they'll be online. And this is okay, but it makes communities only online instead of in real life. And it makes teamwork and social collaboration between especially the youth impossible. And this will ruin their education and their futures, as they don't know how to work in actual jobs where you have to collaborate and work. So the solution for that, I think, is to create more youth spaces, but not just for youth. I think for everyone, especially in busy city centres like Birmingham and in places of education and public transport, because that's where a lot of crime happens and is not seen. And I think they should be signposted with very clear bright yellow signs, etc. And that will help people feel more safe and more collaborating as they can go to these youth places and talk to each other about their experiences and worries. So that's my speaking.
My name is Effie. I'm a teacher in the community. I think it's very hard for people to express themselves if they don't have a very strong community. If you spend your entire time in school, your entire time outside school, fearing judgment from your peers and fearing what people are going to say about you, how you're going to act towards your interests, you'll find it very hard to develop a personality, develop what you want to do in the future. I think that a weak community is the root of why people feel so lost and why so many youths are growing up and in their final stages of school, sixth form, and struggling to know what to do next, as they've spent their whole childhood essentially pretending to be someone else so that they wouldn't be judged or embarrassed by their interests. I think to solve this we need more youth spaces, more youth groups that cultivate everyone's interests and allow people to express their individuality without fear and judgment.
Hi, my name is Abdullah, and today I'll be talking about social media. Even though social media has its cons and pros, for us it's kind of is use social media or group chats or just doom scroll. I think this is kind of really bad because it ruins your grades and it kind of makes you in some way kind of dumber because you're not using time to study but you actually just use it to doom scroll. Plus, it also causes a lot of bullying problems and online bullying, cyberbullying as well. And this causes students to actually think that they're not great enough, or which also links to self-suicide. Basically, for example, if you go on TikTok, for example, you can see people that are so much better than you, and you're gonna try and make yourself see like you could be better as well, and that also shows embarrassment, being jealous, and being judged about yourself. And like, I think this is like very not good because this is all comes into one lane, social media, and I think people after school need to like make the time more useful. Like for example, doing their homework, so they can be free in the weekend, or just relaxing. Because even though if social media was here, social media is not a good cause. It's actually really bad. Like you can use social media for like texting and everything, but everything doesn't come great. Even though you say, oh well, we have group chats and that kind of stuff. Well, once someone posts something really bad in that group chat and it causes your life to be ended, or like secrets that you trusted people on social media and it got leaked. So I think the way to like solve this problem is to make sure like social media apps do have like restrictions. For example, like not sending photos of people without people's permission, and having like language guardians, like not saying racist words or even swearing, because that just causes issues sometimes. And
Let's be honest, if a very much so, 13-year-old can understand serious issues like how social media leads to suicide, so can adults, so can everyone else that we are currently speaking to or trying to reach out to understand those issues and genuinely come up with a solution. If Abdullah can do it, so can we.
Does anyone have any questions for our young people on the panel?
Ask the 13-year-old question. How did you get so much like rubbish?
I don't do tutorial on TikTok, but I do a lot of research and that kind of stuff, so I found out it's also about like education as well. So even though how young you are, you can still search on things on your like devices, and I think that's also useful.
I asked him where's the best place to get information from.
I think Wikipedia and Reddit is useful, because if you want to Reddit, you can get everybody's opinion about stuff, which also can be your opinion and all. So, for example, restrictions is good, because, for example, if you want to see something very bad, like, for example, it's fighting which was violence, I think you should, like, on social media, you should make your, like, FYP to be good stuff and research what you can learn, because social media can be very useful, but the way that people use it makes it terrifying, bad, and like just like some ways, pedophiles can't access it. Like they don't have restrictions either. They can make anyone like right here can make someone be sexual abuse or have death threats.
Oh wow!
Let me further emphasize on that point. Using social media has its pros, but you have to look at the statistics. If you're looking at one video saying on this one topic, that can be biased. So if you're going to use social media, look at all the figures, look at different perspectives to see what the true answer is. Because if you look at one source, it's not going to tell you the truth. It could be biased. Take TV News, for example. They never tell the full thing. They only tell half the thing. So that's why you should look at BBC News, Al Jazeera, to get the full perspective and truly know what's happening in today's world.
One second. Just to add on to that, I don't know how many people know, but I think it was Instagram got sued because they admitted to feeding more negative content. Let's say you search up something about violence accidentally, they continuously feed you that, and they got sued because of that. So to the people that say, oh, you're searching or the people that say that you're actively searching for like negative content, no, you're not. It gets fed to you on purpose. Go on.
What I wanted to ask is, say thank you to all of you. This is one of you to make that point from your own standpoint. But I think I want to direct something at Mr. Research there. Because you seem to have a fantastic research skills, which I'm admiring. Yes, and we may have a role for foundation very soon. Yes. Now, with all the research that you've done, and I know you mentioned what you do with social media. Social media to me sometimes, as a young person, it's quite broad. Where does the music and the lyrics of music play in your research or in your
So, for example, you're gonna put your headphones on when you're studying or doing anything if you're trying to like make your brain just calm down. For me, I'm just gonna put my headphones and, for example, since I'm Muslim, I listen to nasheeds and Quran replays, and I think that helps to stimulate the brain to like calm down, relax, and it also helps with studying because some people say listening to something while studying is very, very bad. I think it's actually good because it has very good pluses because either way you can memorize stuff. For example, I can memorize the Quran just by listening to something. Second, it can also help you by stimulating the brain to calm down, and it also helps you in studying because, for example, if you're just not listening to nothing, you're not focusing, because focusing is what makes a person great, and listening is also a great thing.
Guys, let me add to that point. It depends on what type of music you're listening to, because within today you have grime music, which is very well listened to now, and within that grime music you hear lyrics of stabbing, death, and drugs, and that's what your brain learns to read them. If you listen to grime music such as that, when you listen to the lyrics like that, your brain gets stimulated to do actions like that. Whereas if you listen to more classical music, more instrumental music, you don't have that same effect. Your brain learns to handle things better. And this is from statistics as well. I'm not making this off the top of my head. This is what people have actually said. So if you're going to quote music, you have to say what type of music. Because if you're listening to rap, then the rhyme, then you have negatives of it. But if you listen to the other kinds of music,
Just a little. I'm so sorry, I talked a lot. Just to add on to that, not all music is bad. I know that a lot of people in our generation use music to express themselves, whether it be in rap music, and not a lot of us listen to classical music. It's just easier to express yourself. Maybe not easier, but it's like, it just fits if you express yourself in that genre of music. So don't take it as, don't listen to that kind of music. Sometimes they do have very important messages about your community or about where they come from in their background.
I think that if it weren't for the people that were like looking for the music, no one would ever produce it. So maybe it's not the music itself, but the people who want it and where they want it from and how they want it from. Because maybe kids want this music because it makes them feel like they have more power than they actually do. Because maybe they're not heard enough and their ideas are just suppressed. So they try and find these ideas through violence, and that's their way of living.
how much you guys have TikTok?
TikTok. Put your hands up if you have TikTok.
That's a lot, guys. You look at TikTok and that's your feed. So basically, what TikTok does is what it does. For example, if you set up certain page and you like it, people watch it, right? It adapts to it. So if you're gonna for example, you just set up one for example, TikTok is gonna take it's gonna take your like video you're watching and adapt it to your FYP and make sure it's basically a repeat of your watching, but basically different. And I think that's really bad because this is also another con of social media. If you're watching one thing, it's gonna repeat over and over again, and it's gonna make you addicted to it.
Talking about use spaces and about use spaces and this article was talking about the use spaces about travel and things like that. How do you visualize it? I know you said about highlighting media and making it obvious, that's where they are. How do you see that in practice? How do you see it? Because we talk about travel in public spaces and people transit. Children will say they're important to that. So how do you see that?
I was kind of visualizing, like the building that you go into, the signposted, both on social media and physically, that you can just walk into. There's staff members that will greet you and make sure that you're okay. And there's like toilets and drinks or whatever, just if you want to stay there for a while. Because like stalking's a real thing and stuff like that is. And if you're being followed on the train, what can you do? So maybe at each stop there's some kind of building where you can walk into it. You can tell someone, you can confused, that will help you get away from that situation. On the safe space, there's only around 50 like, safe spaces in the West Midlands, and I don't think that's enough. I think that there should be more safe spaces, especially marketed to minorities and more. And that would help us have a more safer society overall, because people don't fear the same crimes and the same fears as they used to always. Because imagine going late at night from Birmingham to, for example, something, you're going to fear the people that are on the trains. But that shouldn't happen. And these safe spaces, I think, will eliminate it, because the staff there should be able to facilitate you and your needs.
Like an example of what I would imagine was what's it called, the youth bus. I think Matt knows what I'm on about. It was basically just a bus, like a normal bus, but they refurbished it into like, it had games, it had a Nintendo Switch, it had like a PlayStation. I don't know if you like saw it, and it was like all across the Sandwell, and I was trying to make did like sessions on it. I think that would be a great thing. On Thursday, we had another session in Dudley. Someone came up with the idea with like a specific line of like, it was like a train or a bus route just for young people, where only young people can go on. Specifically like 2 hours when there's like no parents and like children out of school. And like maybe it goes like through the busy routes, or maybe it goes through the dodgy routes, but like just unsafe places. Or something like that. That's what I was imagining.
However, I want to counteract his argument. He says you need a building in these public spaces. But the only way to get these buildings to work is if you have the public's acceptance. Many people are not going to go into them because of what society sees of them. People are going to say, if you go in there, you're not a proper person, you're scared, you're like, I'm not going to say it, but you guys know what I'm saying. So the only way to get it working is to actually get the public on board. So my question to Jay is, how are you going to get the public on board?
I think you can do that through marketing. Would you rather feel safe or feel like, the word you didn't say, Because I feel like if you're being followed, you're seriously, like, alarm bells ringing, adrenaline going. You're going to want to go somewhere that's safe, and whether that be literally anywhere, a building, a bus, you're going to want that. And I think that even if the public won't admit it fully at first, they will after a while. Because especially for women or minorities like, certain races, etc., they are targeted in public and especially online as well. And then when they go outside, this is felt more so. So I think that they want to see this more.
However, what he said is correct, but marketing is expensive. I'm not going to deny that, it's very expensive. So where are you going to get the funds from? Because the West Midlands police already don't have that much money left. They've already spent it on a bunch of other random things, such as horses and Soho Road. That's a different topic. So where are they going to get the funding from? Is the public going to give them the funding? The public won't.
I don't think we need that funding. I don't know if you guys have been to Oxford, Midlands, London Saver Society. They run like a boxing thing where there's so many young people that even though it looks really dodgy, no offense from Oxford, it genuinely looks really dodgy, especially at night. But there's so many young people that will go to that. When people grow up in that kind of area that we think, oh, it's not safe, and they get called a certain word for them going to a space where they feel safe. In my experience and from the people I've talked to, if there's if there's a space where you can feel safe, you can be a young person without being scared or anything, they will utilize that space no matter how run down and how little funding it has. And that's how you get more and more funding.
And also, most online places to go around stuff is free. You can go online and just put a sign up for everyone to see. And printing out like flyers and stuff like that, and pinning it to certain things, and getting organisations to write it too. That could be a thing. And also sponsors exist. So.
I agree with Jay, because even though I think I was getting money for it will be expensive, but it can't be that expensive that we can't do a giveaway. For example, we can make a Just Giving page, so we can people can donate for us, because who wants their child not to be safe in the middle of the night? Or, for example, you're coming back from school, or you're going to school and you take buses, right? I think some people do take buses. Who takes buses here? Everyone. So, you want the adults or their children to be safe. So I would say that I think buses are not safe anymore, because you never know when someone might attack your child, and I think that having children designated buses are very safe, and I think it's only for children. I think that's very good, and there should be a trusted adult on the road if anything happen. It's instant driver, both of them. So I think that I agree with Jay, because even though there's going to be safe places and everything, we also need safe transport.
Oh, wow.
I think to add on to it, I think we underestimate the power of social media. With going on like lots of things, I think it's very important to promote safe spaces through sites such as Instagram. A lot of people who go into spaces there's like these great safe spaces, people promote that, and they just go, you should go here, this is like a good youth group for us to hang out. And then it would get more traction, people would know more about it. That requires no funding, that requires no effort from, in particular, other than just putting it on your story. And I think a lot of people would listen to that, especially if it's their friends or a friend of a friend who thinks this place is really worth going to, and people go check it out, and then they see it as this safe place and keep going.
So what she said was that you can post on social media. However, I know from personal experience, when you're posting on social media, it takes time to get the traction and get the views. Because when you start posting, you get like 3-4 views, and that's not going to get anyone to the place. So instead of spending millions of pounds on these buildings and trying to fund people and pay them their wages, we should add deterrents on those places. People can get paid to sit on the bus or a coach, make sure no one acts like an idiot on there. If somebody gets kicked off a train, you have cameras there. These deterrents make parents feel safe. I know you guys will feel safe knowing your child is on a bus that has the correct vision to keep your child safe, but it's also not costing you anything. So yeah, that's it.
My question to the panel is, I've always believed in the value of mentoring. Now you mentoring, so people mentor you. Could I ask the panel, one, are any of you being mentored? And two, what value have you found from getting that support from other people? You may have talked about it, but I've just got here, so that was my question. Thank you.
I think about mentoring, I think anybody that goes to school, obviously the teacher can be your mentor. Like when you're taught at school, they teach you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. Especially in PSHE. Does everybody here do PSHE? Yeah, in PSHE, we're taught about county lands and everything, like drugs and what all these things can lead you to. And I think that mentoring, obviously, it helps you stay away from these things.
So mentoring is good to some extent. Everything is good to some extent. So is mentoring. Mentoring is good if you have people that actually want to go and listen. But most times, as you said in PSHE lesson, when you learn about county land, when you learn about drugs, people don't care. They fall asleep in lesson. The two people think you know in the back of the class instead of actually listening. So mentoring is good if you have people who want to be engaged, if you want to listen.
Can I throw this back at you, if I'm allowed? I wasn't particularly talking about mentoring. What I was trying to talk about was many issues that young people face today. You've got young people who are slightly older that perhaps have ended up in prison, ended up in the foster care system, ended up with issues. What they've done is they've come back from their mid-20s, early 30s, and they've provided mentoring experience to youngsters that could be going in that direction. And I just wondered what the value, or if anybody knows of anybody, and has there been any value to that type of mentoring. The problem with PHE, it's a standard thing. And sometimes what young people are going through, it needs more specialist support.
Yes, I agree with that statement 100%, that people that go in the wrong path, they will need mentoring to some extent to stop them from going to prison, jails, or leading a path of them. But it is expensive, I'm not going to lie. Mentoring costs a lot of money with the specialists and the time that you're wasting, not wasting the time that you are there. So I would like to ask you, where would you get the money from to get the mentoring and get the specialized people who can actually do it?
I think mentoring has great value. As in my school, I was a mentor personally to some of the year 7s as a youth peer mentor. We were educating them about mental health, and I think this approach was far more stronger than had a teacher being the mentor, because a teacher, in my opinion, is far more further in relationship from the student. They're not as close. They have a very strict student-teacher relationship, however friendly the teacher might be. So I think that as year 13 and year 12 students, we were much greater help to the year 7 and year 8s in educating them and being someone that they can talk to during either form, period, or lunch, whenever they feel comfortable about talking about their own struggles, and even if they're not sure, it's a friendlier persona to talk to compared to a teacher and a teacher. So that's my goal.
I have a question for you guys. Hello. So you guys have said all these wonderful things and how we can, you said these challenges that we all face and how we can improve them. My question to you is, are you guys doing anything in your communities to fight this?
Should we go down the line? Would you like to start? Would you like to start? No, okay, fine. Obviously, if you could read the back of my shirt, I'm a change maker, and so is Jay. God love us. Point is, yes, we have been delivering sessions all across the West Midlands, but me personally, because I'm from Southwell, I've spoken to the council, we've spoken about sessions, our sessions that we created, like between ourselves, who've been change makers, have gone out to schools, for example, and we've spoken to the VRP at the conference, thank you, Matt, and we've spoken to them, telling them that this is the issues that we are facing, you guys are basically doing nothing about it, or what you are doing is not enough. We've spoken to Anthony, VRP, creating more sessions, we've gone out to, we've gone out to those communities, spoken to the young people, spoken to the professionals. Even though we are not youth workers, we deliver to youth workers, telling them, hey, you guys are not doing that great of a job. No offense to the youth workers here today. But back to the, just quick pivot, back to the mentoring thing. It doesn't have to be like a year 13. We can be the mentors because we are also living through them. So like say, Taisha, she's a change maker, right? Everyone say hi Taisha. Right? She will mentor the kid. I'm so sorry, I don't know what his name is. The kid next to her, and he will become a change maker. That's mentoring. It's the same thing as mentoring. You're teaching them about your experiences, which costs no money, I'm going to be so honest with you. And he is now a change maker, and he can go on to the person next to him, and it will continue on and on. That's the same thing as mentoring. That's what mentoring is for. So I don't think it has what you were on about that. Those people that live those experiences. You can do it younger. Because we also have those experiences.
I understand. I think that just living and experiencing things yourself, like I do D&D and CCF, etc. Just doing them things and living your life will make you a more knowledgeable person. So I think grabbing any opportunity will make you better as a mentor yourself, because just being in your community and speaking to people and making friends is, in a way, mentoring. Because you living your life and learning how to live, and then trying to advise someone how to then live their life, it's like you can't do that unless you go out there and you do things. So I think that, you know, living your own life is as important as telling someone else how to live theirs.
To add on to that, I think that mentoring is really important to share those experiences. It's much easier to teach and help people when you have also done the same things. It's hard to have like a teacher explain how you should go to live your life if you're going down the wrong path, because you know they're so vastly different from you. Who's maybe a couple years older than you, or maybe even someone in your whole community who's like the same age as you. Who have very similar experiences, it's easy to bond and realise maybe you are.
I'm not a change maker, but you can help as well. You can have this different ways. For example, in my school, Aston was one of the mentors. Aston was and I had to survive. For example, my school is, let's say, a school that's 70, and I think the students can help. So in our school, basically my year, I have organized a good day of diverse, and basically it's only me and my friends game, and it doesn't, and you don't need a teacher to help you. You need a teacher, but not that much. But what I'm trying to say is every word can be heard, and how when you are, you can also, for example, no one's stopping you if you want to either if you are no one's stopping you in your own and for mentoring, wrong, but I believe that as well, because when you grow older, I'm going to say, you're going to have kids, you're going to have time, you're going to pay bills, expenses, and I don't think like that's hard. And I also think that mentoring also explains to students how that's going to go. And if students don't listen, you can do one-on-one, because I think most students around, most students now, they're too shy, scared, and I think someone's always going to tell them no, because I notice in every class there's one person who's going to make you feel, because it's one person that can affect your life, that can affect how you're going to behave. So I say that mentoring is a thing that everyone should try to take it, because I'm going to tell you, if you're going to do mentoring, it's going to help you in the future and resolve the past.
Oh! Thank you, everyone. We have now the round of applause for our panelists.
Let me start by apologising for lateness. Unfortunately, when you're an MP, you're expected to be in a lot of places in a short space of time, but I couldn't not come today. Let me tell you a little bit about Paulette as we open up the day. I started my life as a nurse. I was a nurse for 25 years. In that time, I became a counsellor. And when I worked in Answorth, we had lots of young people that used to have a number of crises, and especially young black men. And at the time, what would happen is families would hide that, especially young men were having problems. And it would start with them, the police coming along, some of them getting arrested, and it wasn't really the right place for them to be. So after many years of working with both the Mental Health Trust and with the police and through the work of the counsellor, that has now changed. I think that people have started to think of people, young people and adults with mental health in a different way. You have a lot to contribute. You have a lot going on now. When I was growing up, I didn't have a mobile phone. I didn't have the issues of TikTok that was highlighted. I didn't have the issues of Snapchat, is it the other one? Or some of the other external forces that can cause issues. You've also got, as young people, you're dealing with, in some households, domestic abuse, you're dealing with single parent families, all the issues that sometimes young people don't know how to deal with. The reason why I am so interested in especially mentoring, it's because you were not the first to develop these conditions, but sometimes it feels as if living with these in certain spaces that you're on your own. And the reason why I like mentoring is because you're not on your own. You're actually not on your own. And these change makers are wonderful, because when that was highlighted, that's what I wanted to hear. It's not about having expensive mentors. It's not about speaking to people that have got masters and PhDs. It's about speaking to somebody else who's been on the journey before you, and sometimes they just listen, because a lot of this is about listening to the concerns of young people and being able not necessarily to tell them what to do, but to tell them how you went through what you went through, what they're living at the moment. I think as somebody who's not as young as yourselves, I'm in a very young constituency. I'm in the constituency of Birmingham. We've got lots of young people. We've got county lines issues. We've got lots of care homes with young people who are living in care homes and they're on their own in there. We've got issues of young people living in these exempt type accommodation without much support. We've also got lots of single parent families that are struggling at the moment. And what we've tried to do in Erdington, or what I've tried to do as an MP, I can't change this all. But today, what I want to do is to hear your voices. And I just started, so I was late. So I wanted to hear your voices. I wanted to hear your concerns. But more than that, I wanted to hear not the fact that it can't be done, but as that young man said at the very end, how you can overcome by learning from others. I paraphrase that. But please understand, it's how you then overcome and how you move to the next stage. Some of us, you know, I can happily tell you about my daughter. She had 10 GCSEs. She had 3 A-levels or whatever they call them at the grade A, and went to university and passed. Absolutely crashed because she didn't have the support mechanisms around her. And what we had to do was withdraw her from university and keep her within the family and then reintroduce her to university with lots more support. Because lots of young people are desperate to go to university, but it doesn't suit everybody. And it's knowing what suits you and what doesn't suit you. And it's having the experience and being able to say, this is not for me. Perhaps I need to do it a different way. Also, we talked about positive opportunities. It's also about employment. We have now, how many of you have thought of doing voluntary work? Within my office, we have young people come in for work experience. How many of you have tried to do work experience? Because sometimes when you do other things that you take yourself out of your comfort zone, you then find out that I quite enjoy that. Because many people do not understand that working in an MP's office isn't just about Paulette standing up and giving speeches. We have hundreds of emails, we have lots of people we have to deal with. And sometimes having young people come in, they give us a fresh perspective because it's things we wouldn't have thought about. So please, it's also about what can you do on a voluntary basis to help you get out there to experience things. Also, you want to create a better future. Sometimes it's dreaming big and not allowing others to stop your aspirations. When I was growing up, many people told me what I couldn't do, and sometimes what that does, that upsets you so much that you remain within a box. Try, if at all possible, do not let other people tell you what you can't achieve. It's for you. If you have an ambition, if you try for the sun and you only get to the moon, you've got halfway there. But what you're not to do is allow others to tell you, because of your start point, that will mean you will have a certain end point. Your start point is not your end point. So please don't let people kill your vision. Also, we need to look at safer communities. Areas like Erdington, the county lines issues is a major issue for us. So we are working with the police, we are working with probation services and others to try and keep it safe. But my final point is, young people, we need to hear your voices. If there are things that are going on, I'm an MP, write to me. Tell me what you're not happy about. Tell me what you'd like me to speak about in Parliament. Because anybody that knows me knows that I will stand up, and if it's a big enough issue, I will speak on it because it's affecting residents in my community. So change makers, be the change that you want to see. So if there are things that change makers, all of you are change makers, because if you can come to a place like this, you want to affect change. But use people like me to help you get the change you want to see. So please, write to me, ring my office, send us emails, let us know what it is that you feel that as politicians we're not doing and you want to see more of. Because you know something, you may be the young people and the children of today, but you are our future voters, you are the future MPs, you're the future councillors, you're the future doctors, you're the future nurses, you're the future bankers, you're the future accountants, you're the future scientists, you're the future forensic experts. Please do not limit yourself from where you have started from yesterday. Have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you so much to Paula Hamilton MP for those inspiring words. It's clear that change starts when communities come together, and that's exactly what we need to be doing.
Now that we've shared some incredible insights from our guest speakers, we would like to invite Dr. Gudrun Rizvi. She's a highly accomplished consultant psychiatrist who stands on the front line of mental health care and psychiatric leadership, bringing on an extraordinary depth of clinical expertise to the table. Dr. Rizvi has been deeply committed to improving patient care, driving innovation in mental health support, and working tirelessly to break down these barriers deep-rooted with stigma.
We're so incredibly lucky to have someone with a monumental depth of knowledge, compassion, and real-world leadership here with us today to share these vital insights. Please bring the energy and give a massive welcome to Dr. Mindrat Rizvi.
I'm Dr. Mindrat Rizvi, a consulting psychiatrist, child and adolescent mental health. And I promise you it's not going to be a psychiatric lecture. We already have very interesting talk from our youth speaker, from our MP, about violence, about social media, about exclusions. So we are all seeing this cycle of getting into emotional distress, getting into mental distress, getting into exclusions, violence, crisis, and even more distress. So I'm just here today. I will not I won't say that I will be able to break the cycle. We have all seen the cycle, we understand the cycle. My goal today is just that I'm here to empower you to understand the cycle and understand how the cycle begins, how it grows, and where it can be interrupted. So we are talking about breaking the cycle. I just want all of you, there's supposed to be a waterfall here. There is a small waterfall that you can see. So I want all of you to just imagine. And now it's a very warm day. So just imagine you're in front of this beautiful waterfall. And you're enjoying the beauty and the calmness of this waterfall. And all of a sudden, a young person is distressed. A young person is drowning. I know instinctively you will jump, you will try to take this young person out, you will resuscitate. And then you notice another young person drowning. And another. So there are so many young persons that are distressed, that are drowning. But the unfortunate situation is that now, from the mental health perspective and from the society, we are only noticing them when they are actually drowning, when they are in distress. So my role today is to go upstream and see why there are so many young people today that we are seeing that are acutely in distress, that are in severe mental and emotional distress. So let's see upstream. So we understand that, in my generation, people were growing up listening to fairy tales and lullabies, and unfortunately, it's your generation that has grown up listening to breaking news. We understand that, in this time, there is one news about the terror attack, next about wars, and then it's about tsunami, and then financial crisis, and then we heard about the COVID, lockdowns, cost of living. So there's a global impact, and that is all in your hand via your mobile phone, via your social media. So at 8 o'clock you're worrying about the world peace, and 8 or 9 you're thinking about, my skin, do I need to do something to fit in the society? So we understand the pressure on today's youth is not as it was previously. And there is a lot of process that while you're still doing that complicated work of becoming yourself. So we understand for you it's not just a phase. And I promise you I will not go into the statistics, but we need to understand it now. Currently, in England, 1 in 5, every 5th person is having mental health issues. Just age 16 to 24, 1 in 4 young person is having mental health difficulties. They are I'm not trying to say this generation is weak or this generation is not able to cope with it. We are just trying to understand that you are not weak or you are not strange or no, but there is something going on that we are failing to notice. So, can we go to the next slide, please? So we understand that our brain, it does not see number, it has alarm system, and that is from ancient time we have this alarm system. Cavemen was able to survive because of this alarm system of fight, flight, and freeze. And this alarm system, I know situations change, the world we live in, that has changed, but the alarm system is not changed. So we understand. Still now, when we are not feeling comfortable, when we are distressed, we also have these three things that, okay, either I should run, either I should fight, or I should pretend it's not happening. We are utilizing the same alarm system that the caveman was using, and we need to understand how it's impacting our life. So we will just take an example of a young person named Jay. So Jay is say 16 years old and he was funny, he was very good with football, and he had friends. And then we understand he was not born as a problem, but things started changing. Just take an example of Jay, who could be anyone in your friend circle in your life, and we noted that there was some stress at the home. He started falling back to school, humiliation started, he's not able to sleep, he has stopped playing football, and adults only are noticing the attitude that he's just showing some attitude, he's being a little more angry, but only few people noted the shame, the loneliness that was with the Jay. Then Jay found some new people where he felt heard, where he felt understood and respected, and one night there was a big fight. So all of the people around, they saw the fight, but no one saw what happened years before the fight. So I think our role today, from the mental health perspective, being the adult supporting you, is to change the question, to change from what is wrong with you to asking what happened to you. That is the need of the time that we understand. And understanding is not excusing. I'm not trying to excuse what Jay has done. I'm not trying to excuse the violence. My role today is to understand the cycle that has led to me from not being noted, feeling isolated, getting into more anger and into violence. So the change is noticing withdrawal, hopelessness, danger, and time to ask, listen, and connect. What I'm asking all the young people here in the adult is to pause, check, and choose. Because when we are in distress, even if someone is laughing, we think, oh, they're laughing at us, they're humiliating us. We see everyone as threat because the ancient alarm system in my brain is saying, if I'm distressed, I would fight, or I would run, or I would freeze. So, right now, we would not expect you, or in this situation, we would not expect you to solve or you can fix their problem, but what you can do is that you can understand them. You need to understand what is going on or what are the changes, what is happening in their life, rather than them being alone in their loneliness, in their trauma. They can have bullying, rejection, humiliation. So our goal is not to ask what is wrong, what is going on, what has happened. That is something that can change the scenario. And also to be clear that if you are distressed, if you have been in a situation where you were involved in violence or you were prepared to run, so that is not the end of the story. Your story will be written by you. These are the things that can make you vulnerable to certain stresses, to become violent or to be exposed to violence, but that is not the end of your story. Your story will be written by you and with support of adults. Sometimes it's not that young people do not have voice. Sometimes adults are not listening to the way we should be listening. So our role today is for you to let you understand that violence, it's not something that happens over the night. It is just the visible end of much long trajectory. So if we are able to understand, see the path, we do not diagnose it, we understand that my friend or someone I know is not being themselves. They are anywhere. They are not attending the activities. Support them. Ask them, you need to be be a psychiatrist or a mental health nurse to support them. As we discussed here, that being a mentor, if you have the lived experience yourself, bring them. And also, if someone is in risk, it's not loyalty to not tell adults or not tell people that okay, they are a risk to themselves or risk to others. So this is your life journey, and if you are in a situation that does not define you, that is just the starting of your story, not the end. Thank you.
As we come to the end of today's events, we just want to take a quiet moment to look back on what we've achieved in the last few.
We started with a goal today to create a space where young people who have faced challenges, who felt unheard, could finally have a platform. Look around this room, see the conversation at roundtables and sports shown for our youth panel. We definitely did that. We hope you leave today feeling a little less alone, and a little more inspired, and a lot more confident in your potential. Never let anyone tell you your voice doesn't matter.
A huge thank you to everyone who made today possible, our organisers, our community leaders, and every single one of you. Last but not least, I'd like to give thanks to Councillor Shahul-Hameed for organising this. None of this here would have happened without her support and her contribution to this conference. Let's give another massive round of applause. I hope every single one of you here has learned a lot and enjoyed this conference. And let's keep walking this journey together. Thank you and take care of yourselves. If everyone would like to come up here for a group photo, that would be lovely. Thank you.